And a very good morning to Ask X Factor Live. Welcome to week 10 of our 18-week program. We'll just let everyone come in the door, grab a seat. Hopefully you've got a nice tea or coffee with you. Settle in for the next 45 minutes here with myself, Julia Keedy, and our guest today, Laura Trotter. Great to have you here. Welcome. Today is all about online business, online courses. We've got a great question that just popped in a couple of minutes ago about pricing. So that's going to be great when we get to that question. You are here on Ask X Factor Live. Good morning. Good morning, Asha. Good morning, Emma, Jenny, Katrine. We've got a bunch of people arriving. Great to see you. Welcome if this is your first time at Ask X Factor Live. We have been here for the last 10 weeks and we've got another 8 weeks to go of our pilot program. And if you've been with us before over the last 8 weeks, welcome back. It's great to have you back here again. We are using Zoom's webinar platform and you'll see down the bottom of your screen there a Q&A box and a chat box. So feel free to just use those chat boxes or Q&A boxes to ask us questions throughout the session today. So welcome, everyone's joining us now, fantastic. So my name is Julia Keedy. I am the host of the Ask X Factor Live program and I'm also the founder and CEO of the X Factor Collective. For those who don't know me, I have worked in the social impact, social purpose sector for the last 10 years. A highlight of that being the founding CEO of the Australian Women Donors Network, which has really helped catalyse a lot of investment in women and girls and building women's philanthropy in Australia. After that, I pretty much became an accidental consultant and under the brand of X Factor Strategy for about 7 years. And it was during that time that I worked with hundreds of social change makers, philanthropists, charities, social enterprises, other consultants and coaches. And I could really start to see a bunch of ways that we could make life easier for both consultants and coaches in this space, but also our clients. So I decided that we needed to build a collective, a community for consultants and coaches, but equally a community for you, where you can come and find really highly skilled, pre-vetted support, people that have got a lot of experience who are there to help you achieve your social mission. So we're all about helping social change makers connect, collaborate, and innovate together. Good morning to those who are just arriving now. So we launched the collective only 12 weeks ago. So if you haven't heard about the X Factor Collective, that's fair enough. We have 30 foundation members at the moment, growing out to 100 over the next 6 months or so across 300 areas of specialisation. So anything that you're looking for, whether it's partnerships, HR, legal, fundraising, questions to do with your board, strategy, communications, technology, whatever it might be, we're building a really beautiful community here that you can come in and out of whenever you need us for support. So great to have you here. Please spread the word about this incredible community of specialists. And we've got one of our foundation members here today sharing her knowledge with you, Laura Trotter. Before I introduce Laura to you, just to let you know, we've got about 7 or 8 really great questions that we're going to be getting through today with you in the next 45 minutes. Please feel free to ask your questions there in the chat box or the Q&A box throughout the session, and we'll be able to get to those and help you on your mission today as well. We are recording the session and we will cut up all of these questions into beautiful little episodes, which will all be available on our new YouTube channel in the next couple of weeks. So that's exciting. We're launching with about 50 to 60 episodes in 2 weeks' time. So we'll send you a link for that and it'll have all of the episodes from the last 8 weeks on there. So just to let you know, if your link does drop out today, don't stress. I'm just going to share with you on your screen now a couple of phone numbers that you can call. You might want to just screenshot that for yourselves and a code there. It's also there in the chat box for you. If your link drops out, you can call back in on the phone. Fantastic. Great. Well, that's all the housekeeping. Welcome to those who have just joined us. You are at Ask X Factor Live. I'm your host, Julia Keedy, and welcome. So let's get into it, shall we? I am so excited to have this lovely lady here with us today. We were just saying that we met 30 years ago, and I know that we don't look that old, but we did meet some 30 years ago and have known each other for a very long time. And I've really enjoyed watching Laura's career and her fantastic reach internationally, in such a beautiful sharing business coach, and she's learnt so much on online business and online courses over the last 10 years doing it herself, and she shares that as a coach with people all around the world. So excited to have Laura. Let me tell you a little bit about Laura. Laura is a veteran online ecopreneur and a creator of multi-award-winning profitable online conscious businesses. Laura coaches many other conscious business owners to package up their experience and expertise online, and that's what we're all here to learn from Laura today. Laura is one of Australia's first certified entrepreneur consultants, is highly trained and experienced in online marketing and automation. From a business point of view, Laura created the multi-award-winning online business Sustainababy in 2009. Going back a long time, which grew to a 6-figure plus business in its first year online, all while working remote in South Australia with a newborn baby. Since then, Laura has launched a number of eco-living e-courses, including Self-Sufficiency in the Suburbs. Laura has a sustainable living blog that you can follow, an eco chat podcast. She sold her Sustainababy business and then created the Sustaina Home eco-living brand and online store. I'm quite exhausted just reading all of that out. It's such an amazing list of accomplishments, while also being a wife and a mother and to 2 beautiful boys. Laura, it's great to have you here today. Welcome.
Oh, thanks so much for having me here, Julia. And it's great to see the amazing community that you're building at X Factor Collective and be a part of that as a foundation member.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's great to have you here. Before we get started, Laura, everything that you do and everything that you put a focus on is all around environment and sustainability. And I was just wondering if you could share with us, before we get into some of the questions, where does that passion come from?
I guess it just comes from my childhood. I was one of those kids that was always playing outside, and you're the same, Julie. We grew up. So if we weren't down at the beach at Sea Spray or on the beautiful Gippsland Lakes, or we were up in the high country, Victoria, and from a very young age, I had a very strong connection to the environment. But I was just one of those kids, I could see the impact that humans were having on the environment. I think I was born with a green heart. So I thrived at my maths and sciences at school, and I was so passionate about the environment that I chose a career in environmental engineering, and I went off to Melbourne and studied that for 4 years, and I worked all over Australia in industry as an environmental engineer for about 11 years before I fell pregnant with my first baby. And it was actually when I was pregnant with my first baby, Matthew, and living in a small remote town, in the Australian outback, and I was trying to source sustainable baby products for my baby. I wanted to do the cloth nappies, the organic cotton clothing, get organic baby, shampoos and things like that. And they were really, really hard to find, and you couldn't just go to one place and get them all. So of course you can now. There's lots of places that are available now, but back then there wasn't. So I decided to create one of the first online eco baby stores, and that was Sustainababy. Had the idea when I was 28 weeks pregnant, and it was all launched by the time my first baby was 6 months old. And I think it just flew off right from that very first day. I went off to coffee morning with my mum's group and came home. My website was pushed live and there was 11 orders just sitting there. And I thought, oh my God, what have I created? But I lived and breathed that for 6 years. Had my second child during that time. And also, as we change as entrepreneurs and as mothers and women, I thought, I don't want to be talking about babies forever. My big passion is changing the way humans live on the planet, by a series of small changes we can make inside our homes. And I just really wanted to focus in on that sustainable living in the home, not just eco-parenting, but sustainable living. And so that's where my courses were born. And just more recently, Sustaina Home. So like that online eco-living store, not just focusing on babies anymore. So that's where it is. It's been quite a journey, and I'm loving it. I think when you're so intimately aligned with your vision and mine sustainability, I just can't not do sustainability. I'm so passionate about improving this world for future generations. Like it never ever feels like work, because I love my mission. That's what I'm here for.
That's great. Fantastic. Thank you, Laura, for sharing that with us. And Laura was also one of a handful of women that went to Antarctica at the end of last year as well. She's really regarded very highly in this space around the world. And, I'm so excited to watch you over the next decade, Laura, in terms of the leadership that we'll be able to learn from you and your thought leadership. So it's great to have you here today. We've got a bunch of topics that we're going to be jumping into today, looking at increasing your website traffic, crowdfunding for your social venture startup, creating online courses. We're going to look at podcasts. We're looking at best platforms for online stores and a bunch of questions. So please feel free to drop your questions into the chat and Q&A box. And I think we need to get into it. What do you think, Laura?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So question one is, for those who are new to this, Laura, many of us want to stop trading time for dollars and want an online business to offer ourselves leverage. What are some examples of how we can get more scale and leverage for our products and services in an online business environment?
For sure. I love that question. And if you are thinking like that, first, I congratulate you. Like, just having that mindset shift from employee to entrepreneur is part of the journey. And but before I just go into examples, let's just touch on what leverage and scale mean. So leverage is really about using something to maximum advantage. So creating something once and selling it many times, I guess. Musicians have always done this. They've written a song and we're still listening to the Beatles 50 years later. So that's leverage for you. And scale is really the opportunity to grow and expand in a proportional and a profitable way. So once you have this leverage and the required systems in place, you can basically blow up your business in a great way. You can scale your business very, very quickly. And using leverage and scale is how I've been able to impact, people from a very small town where I was living in outback South Australia to all over the world. Let's talk about some of the ways that I was able to do that, and how you can do that too if you're looking to stop trading time for money. So some of them in a services sense. So ebooks are an example. Setting up an online course, so an e-course that you can create that course once and sell it many, many times to get many people through that course. An online membership site, so where people might, pay similar to an online course, but it's like an ongoing fee. So you've got that recurring revenue coming in. That's another way. Maybe you prefer to work more with people and you've always been like working and coaching in a one-on-one. You can still package and get more leverage from that in a group coaching session or a mastermind. Even running live events and workshops, you're delivering that same material, and you're delivering that same material whether there's 6 people in the room or 600 people in the room. So that's all, using some scale and leverage there. But again, when you do package up something, it doesn't even have to be in those products that you sell. Like I use leverage in my business just with the content that I create. So if you're going to, for example, if I snap up a podcast episode, it also goes up on my website as a blog. I can use some information out of that. It might be in some of my online training courses, or little snippets and tidbits I can pull out of it and share it in little bite-sized chunks in social media as well. So you can spread your information and the content you make through your paid and free channels as well. So that's some ideas how you can get leverage and scale from some services. But I'd also like to talk about products. It is a little bit harder to scale products because you still need to ship each order out individually. But the good news is you can still create leverage through your marketing initiatives. And again, this comes back into the content and, all that material that you're putting out there to attract and bring traffic to your online store, for an example. So it's like creating one blog post and turning it into a Facebook ad and having it read by thousands and driving that traffic to your store. You haven't gone out and educated one person. You've created that blog post and it's, still capturing, sorry, I've just hit my mic, getting so much traction out there. And also you can do it like putting, products on you know, it's like a membership or a recurring. So, you know, you buy it, but you get, it might be like your skincare, and you can see some online stores will do this. So you've got your order in, and it just gets delivered to you automatically every month or every 3 months or so. So the customer doesn't have to think about it anymore, but it's created that leverage so they don't have to keep going and making the sale. You don't have to keep chasing the sale. It's just happening automatically. So that's some great examples in products-based businesses as well.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. That's a great way to get started. And hopefully this is starting to answer some of your questions here today. Please feel free to pop your questions in the chat box there as we're working through these ones this morning. Laura, let's jump into the next question. It's all about raising capital. And this is an area that you've had a lot of success in yourself. We know that many banks won't look at startups, and crowdfunding has become quite popular. It's often a great avenue. For those who don't know where to start, what do you need to be aware of before launching a crowdfunding campaign?
Yeah, for sure, because it's not as simple as just putting it out there and having the money coming in. So basically, before I answer that question, I just want to just go saying that crowdfunding for your venture or your product or your business or whatever, it's got so many more benefits than just raising the money. And this is why I love crowdfunding more than anything. So a successful campaign will make you confident that there's a market for your product or service before you create it. So you're not investing years into creating and developing something and then putting it out there hoping it will sell. You can prove that it's got a market before you do that, and better still, get the money for it in advance. Also, better still, you often, by crowdfunding, you have a group of really passionate supporters who believe in your vision and will cheer you along every step of the way. And they'll be at the end waiting for you to, you know, create that product or service for them as well. So you've got all that up front. So that's why I really like it. As you hinted at, Julie, I've had a couple of really 2 crowdfunding campaigns. Both of them were successful. I've raised almost $40,000 through crowdfunding. And one that I will just mention specifically was I raised $16,000 to build my self-sufficiency in the suburbs membership and my website, and also all the training videos. And I raised all that money up front by crowdfunding. And I had over 50 participants who pre-bought that membership, waiting for it before I created it, which was great peace of mind for me and great motivation too as I was creating all the content. Like, I knew there was people waiting for it. It's like you couldn't get slack and not do it. But there are a lot of things to keep in mind before you launch a crowdfunding campaign. And I'll be really upfront and honest. It's because around 70% of crowdfunding campaigns fail to reach their target. So they're not successful. The biggest cause of those failures is simply a lack of preparation. So you do need to do your research before you launch the campaign, because once you've hit that launch button, it's too late to make improvements or compensate for your lack of preparation. And despite what a lot of people might think, a longer campaign isn't better. You might go, oh, I'll give 60 days to raise the money. But a short, sharp campaign, like I've done both of my campaigns in 10 days. And like I said, raised $40,000 all up in 10 days. It's just, the longer it is, you get most pledges at the start of the campaign, and at the end of the campaign, you get that lull period in the middle. So you need to sort of plan for that lull period, because it really messes around with your mindset. So I do want to leave you with 5 tips to help to get your crowdfunding campaign to succeed. The first one is really make it about the cause. So in your crowdfunding video and in all the copy, you want to be just really talking about the cause. And the crowdfunding campaigns do fail because the creator makes it all about them. It's not like, oh, I've dreamed of creating this all my life. This is my life's purpose and I want to do this work. It's no. Let's just talk about the impact that your product or service is going to make. And people will get behind that impact. They want to see that happen, not so much how good it will make you feel. So that's number 1. Number 2 is, I call it the no pledger left behind philosophy. So just make every pledger feel valued and appreciated. If you do, they'll be inspired to share the campaign even more, and they'll get behind you. So I do, basically in my crowdfunding campaigns, I've just been driving them on social media the whole time. So listing and tagging where possible every pledger in social media, providing updates to them to keep going. And because they want to get their prize of what they've what they've pledged for as well, and just keeping them in the loop helps them stay engaged and get behind you to help get it over the line, especially in those last few hours and minutes when it can look a bit dicey. I talked about the lull period in the middle, and this third tip is to really stay in the game. So many campaigns again fall over because the campaign creator gives up before the campaign is over. As I mentioned, the bulk of the support comes in during the first few hours and sometimes the last few minutes. Both of my campaigns got over in the last 3 minutes. So you need to be staying in the game, still working on promoting it, social media, PR, everything during that lull period, and keeping, just don't give up, because you got to see it right over the line and just have that faith that, you will take it over the line. The other fourth tip that I have, and this is a bit of a controversial tip, I encourage people to choose all or nothing campaigns rather than, like, all or nothing means that, say you're going to raise 15,000. If you don't hit that target, you don't get anything. So if you get 14,000 raised on your crowdfunding campaign and you haven't hit the 15, you don't get any of it. And you might say, Laura, why are you recommending that we go all or nothing? Like, don't you want to just take whatever you can get? And the reason for this is that, yeah, sure, it's a really big leap of faith to choose the all or nothing campaign, but stats show that you'll be much more likely to hit your target if you do choose an all or nothing campaign. This is really because all your supporters and pledges, they don't want to see you fail. No one wants to see someone fail in a public arena. And this is a big scary thing about crowdfunding. It is so public, but that's the power of it. People also, they want their rewards, but they'd hate to see all the money that you've raised just not go anywhere. So I've found in those last few hours where both my campaigns still had thousands, one campaign had $7,000 to go, like 3 hours out from the end. And I'm looking, oh my gosh, this is going to be hard to bring this home. And all my friends and followers are getting quite anxious. Oh my gosh, Laura, this is so scary. I can't bear to watch. But my social media was plastered with all my friends sharing it. Like, you've got to get this over the line, particularly where I was raising the money for the Antarctica trip. So, anyway, so this is in contrast to Receive Everything campaigns, where I believe you're basically telling pledges that you'll be happy with whatever you can get. There's no urgency in those campaigns. So people just don't feel the need or the urgency to get behind them so much. So that's why I encourage you to take the plunge and choose all or nothing. And the last tip is to really have a traffic strategy. While there are angel investors out there, the reality is that 9 out of 10 pledges on your crowdfunding campaign come from traffic that you send to your campaign. They come from your network, your extended network. So it pays to have a traffic strategy in place before you launch. So I was driving some Facebook ads to my campaigns, regular blog posts, email marketing before and during that campaign, and also do things like some guest blogging, traditional PR, and paid advertising as well. And just getting back on that 9 out of 10 pledges come from your traffic, sharing it on your personal social media as well. You just never know who's following. Like, the money to participate in, like, the Antarctica trip with the other 80 odd scientists around the world, I had ex-boyfriends pledging on that campaign. And that just totally blew me away. One of them was a guy I haven't spoken to in 20 years. And he pledged on that campaign because he knew that was one of my lifelong dreams, to go to Antarctica. I'd obviously mentioned it to him when we were dating 20 odd years ago, and he saw that. And he put $100 straight on the campaign, and it was, no, Laura, like, good luck, do this. And from an old ex-boyfriend, I thought, wow, this is your network. Your network isn't always who's your inner circle right now. It's way out there, and people want to see you succeed. They really do. The world is not out there to rip everyone down. If you're so aligned with your mission, you will be blown away by the people that want to see you achieve it. So I hope that's answered the question on crowdfunding. So I can talk all day on crowdfunding.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. There's so much just in that one answer. I feel like we could do a whole session on crowdfunding. Let us know in the chat box if crowdfunding is something that's, of interest for you. Maybe we can get Laura back just for a whole session on on crowdfunding and what's possible. I think that's incredible that you had 7,000 to go in the last 3 hours. And
yeah, and I won't lie, it was stressful. I think my cortisol levels went through the roof, and I had to just come down after that. It was hard. Like the few weeks after crowdfunding, I was pretty wiped. I don't recommend it for health reasons necessarily, but sometimes that an intense thing like that is necessary. Like that brought the capital in, and then it took the pressure off for months because I just didn't have to. Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? That crowdfunding campaign brought in, what was it, $22,000, the Antarctica one, in 10 days.
Wow, that's incredible. You just mentioned then about this idea of traffic and moving traffic towards what you're doing, and that sort of is a nice segue into our next question. Our next question is sort of around helping people that may have already started their venture. And the question is what do you do if you have built a website to sell your products or services, but you're just not getting any traffic? What's the quickest and easiest way to increase traffic to your website?
Cool. I really love this question. This is like a lot of people think, when I'm going to create a website or an online store or whatever, build it and they will come. And that's just not true. It's really build it, market the shit out of it, and they will come. So we need to be driving traffic to our websites or our online stores or whatever we've created in the online space. And there really is 2 ways to generate traffic to your website. And it's the hare and the tortoise. So you remember back to that old the hare and the tortoise race and who wins? And it was actually the slow and steady tortoise got in there in the end because the hare raced off. But when you're driving traffic to both sites, you really need both. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the tortoise. The tortoise is your slow and steady traffic, but it's effective too, and it brings in increasingly amounts of free traffic over time by good SEO, so search engine optimization. So this is your long-term content strategy for your venture. So both on your website, such as blog posts that you're optimizing for keywords and things like that, so they, your Googles and your Bings and Yahoos and everything pick them up. And perhaps also on another platform that links and sends traffic to your website. So this could be your YouTube channel or a podcast in iTunes or anything like that. And also your social media postings, that's driving traffic to your website too. So it might be your Insta stories or your Facebook posts and Facebook lives and things like that. So this is the slow and steady stuff that the content that you're creating and putting out there, either on your website and optimized on your website, so it's coming up in search engines, or on other platforms like social media, YouTube and podcasts, and directing it to your website. This stuff takes time. It's not an overnight success thing. You've got to be tinkering away at it for weeks, months or years, but it comes to the point that content is bringing in traffic every day. And that's where I was at with Sustainababy. I basically had to hardly ever do any paid traffic in Sustainababy because my library of blog posts was so much that or even the online store, everything was optimized and people would just say, organic cotton baby sleep bag, and then, onto Google and it would come up, or you'd have a review of them on the blog that would also then link people through to the store. So this stuff takes time. It's free, in fact, in the way that you don't have to shell out money for it, but it's your time to create. Do that, but if you're not as patient, and there is definitely I would also recommend that you employ the hare, this hare rabbits, or the fast way to get traffic to your site, and this is through paid traffic. Now this sends immediate traffic to your website. This is basically pay-per-click advertising, so in Facebook or Google ads or Instagram ads, or even affiliate partnerships. So you might be partnering with someone who's got a large influence and a large email list or anything like that, and you're paying for them to basically commission, if they're promoting your online course or your coaching, you're giving. So they'll send traffic, but any sales that come through, you might be giving them up to 50% of the commission for an example. So it does cost you money for that paid traffic. basically the other thing with paid traffic is that you turn it on and you turn it off. So if you're not paying, it's turned off, which means that your traffic can just drop like that. So you can kind of see that you do need the tortoise and the hare. You're slow and steady. I use the hare stuff really in driving traffic whenever I'm doing any launches, like, you know, the doors are open for my e-courses or coaching or anything like that. That's when I really up my paid traffic. But yeah, I'm basically, you know, I've been blogging on the website nonstop for, you know, weekly for nine years in my different businesses as well. But that's my tortoise stuff that brings in the ongoing traffic every day. So I recommend using both strategies, and I hope that's answered that question.
It's a great analogy, the hare and the tortoise, to remember that. And I guess, yeah, having that blend, isn't it, you know, of both, and tinkering away until you get it right for your audience, I guess, is key.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Julie. It's finding out what gels with your audience and the type of content or the type of posts in social media that get the most engagement, and optimizing them. So if you're seeing a post that gets great engagement, I mean, on Facebook, for example, you can just turn it into an ad for engagement and make sure you can pop a link like at the bottom of that, edit that post and put a link to your website. You can find just little tweaks like that can really make a difference for your traffic.
Fantastic. Great. Thank you for such a great, so many tips there. I'm going to have everyone's furiously writing them down, I'm sure. Asha just said before that she'd be really interested in a crowdfunding session. Thanks for that, Asha. We'll pop it on our list for the program. Just to let you know, just a moment to let you know what's coming up on Ask X Factor Live. Laura, you talked before about mindset, that lull part of crowdfunding program and mindset. And it's actually something that I'm really passionate about, mindset and what we can learn around our mindset, sort of, you know, as part of the X Factor Collective over the next sort of 12 months. Next week on the show, I came across this lovely lady, Sylvia Chichia, a couple of years ago, who had written this book, Money Made Beautiful. And I thought, wow, that's a book I probably need to read. And it's all about our money mindset and our relationship with money. And it's just such an important topic, especially in the social purpose, social impact space, because often we're either looking to raise money or we're looking to share our money. We're looking to invest in projects as well. And we deal with a lot of social investors and philanthropists in the X Factor Collective, and we see money mindset challenges on both sides of the fence. So super excited that Sylvia is a foundation member of the X Factor Collective, and she is actually going to be here on the show next Wednesday. Just showing you here quickly who's coming up over the next couple of weeks on the show. So you might want to come back if this is your first time, come back and see another show with us over the next couple of weeks. Sylvia is next week on Money Mindset. The week after that, we have Kate Buxton, who is an exceptional strategy specialist. She's been around the social impact space for a number of years. She recently finished up last year as the CEO of Australian Community Philanthropy, has worked with a lot of community foundations across Australia. And Kate's just got this really great perspective and frameworks around what to do when things go wrong. So the whole session is going to be what to do when things go wrong with volunteers, with your board, with media, with events. It's going to be great, and it's nothing like learning those type of ideas and frameworks before something goes wrong. So come and jump into that session and hear from Kate. The following week, on the 7th of November, we are having a double back-to-back session. Tisha Archer had a family tragedy a couple of weeks ago, so we've moved Tisha's session to the 7th of November, just after Liliana that morning. Liliana is one of the top event fundraisers in the country. She's now going to be opening up an office in Los Angeles, and she's an exceptional fundraiser, an exceptional strategic mind. She'll be here at 10 o'clock on the 7th of November. And then at 11:30 that day, we'll have Tisha Archer, who is one of the top major gift and capital campaign fundraisers in Australia as well. So exceptional talent, all foundation members of the X Factor Collective here over the next couple of weeks. So if you're just joining us now, or you're watching this on our YouTube channel in the next couple of weeks, welcome back. You are here on Ask X Factor Live, brought to you by the X Factor Collective. I'm your host, Julia Keedy, and our guest today is specialist online business coach, Laura Trotter. What's your questions? Please let us know if you've got any questions to pop in there to the Q&A and chat box. Katrine's just said, love the money mindset session. We'll definitely be there too. Great, Katrine, we'd love to have you there. Please spread the word and let other people know. This is all free for our pilot program over 18 weeks. So please spread the word and share it with as many people as you like. So Laura, let's come back into some more questions. We've probably got about 4 or 5 questions to go. Let's talk about platforms. For someone wanting to create an online course, how should they go about this, and what are the best platforms available?
Yeah, this is a really good question, because there's new platforms out all the single time. So I'm going to start by telling you the platform I did for my very first online course. And it was basically, the platform was, I delivered it by email with a Facebook group. Pretty simple. So often in online business, we can get so caught up in the tech and the platforms and all the design stuff that we need. At the end of the day, that can get in the way of what does my customer want and what result do I need to provide them. And at the same time, what's realistic for my business and my cash flow and everything right now. So particularly if we're a type A personality, or, perfectionists and got a bit of OCD, and we want things done perfectly, we think of some of the top online courses that we've done ourselves and think that ours has to be like that straight out of the gate. But I can tell you right now that those courses were not like that straight out of the gate. Delivered by email with an attached PDF or link to a PDF they could download, and a Facebook group or something to support them if they got any questions. So I just wanted to put that out first before I go into platforms, to just make you relax and come down a bit and say, oh, phew, so I don't have to spend $10,000 to build my site straight out at the gate for my very first e-course. Pardon me, I've just got a tickle in my throat. So I hope, I just hope that helps you first. But at the same time, there are some great platforms out there right now that can help you to launch an e-course and have it look like that. Basically, it look like that professional membership site, and everyone will have their easy to log in and everything like that. So there's basically platforms off the shelf that you just pay a low monthly fee to access. So there's Teachable, there's Kajabi that are out there. So they weren't really around when I was a bit of a trailblazer, created my first online course in 2014. So mine were custom built WordPress sites, but basically with what's called an Access Ally. Is a great program behind that. So I can have multiple courses in the same website and people get their logins and everything like that. So I'm very happy with Access Ally. I think I pay an annual fee of about $1,000 for that software. But you can also look at Kajabi and Teachable that have a very low monthly rate that you can use. I like Access Ally too, because I can use it on my own website with my own domain names and things like that as well. But I believe you can do that for Teachable now anyway. But anyway, look into those options. They're kind of like the 3 that I recommend. But you can also get some other WordPress ones that you can use with some free plugins as well. So I know if you are an Entreport user, there's PilotPress, which is a free plugin as well. But I really like all the capability that you get with an Access Ally. And that's created by Natalie Lucier out of the United States. So you can just, probably just Google Access Ally Natalie Lucier, and you'll come up with all of that.
Great.
But back on that was just platforms. Back on, I think the other part of the question was how to go about creating the online course. Basically, when you are this would shop in how you actually do that, but really go back to who is your ideal customer, what is the pain point of problem. So your online course really needs to be solving a problem for them, and you want to have a system for that system for how to solve that problem into a step-by-step process. So you're taking the person that does that course just through the steps to get them the result that solves their problem. So each step can then become an individual module in the course. And obviously you need to do your research and make sure that there is a market for what you're teaching. resist the temptation to include every single thing that you can think of in the online course. And so many online course creators have just thrown their lifetime of knowledge and experience into an online course and then wonder why no one can finish their course and get the results that you're promising, because they just get so overwhelmed and, oh my gosh, it's just too much. So you want to keep it as simple as possible. Less is more, and just have it that step-by-step to get them the results. I also want to encourage you to make sure that you cater for all different learning styles in your online courses. So you want to be catering for people that learn visually, auditory, so through sound, and kinesthetic learners, so they learn by doing. So have videos and audios available, as well as worksheets or workbooks to encourage people to take actions and do the work to achieve the result that you're paying for. So in all my online courses, I might have the video where I'm talking direct to camera and showing people things, but they can also download that as an audio and just listen to it in the car or whatever, so they don't have to watch me. I'm an auditory learner myself, so I listen to podcasts and stuff like that. So we find a lot of busy mums like that. If they can just listen while they're doing something, they like to learn that way. But other people like to read, so the workbook with the activities that they can do. But at the same time, if someone just wants to watch the video and just print the worksheet and do it that way, you're catering for those different learning styles. And that's the other last tip that I have on online courses, is to just really make sure that your course is an offer that converts and gets results before investing in it further to scale it and bring it out to the masses. So yeah, just be wanting to look at the numbers of how many, hundreds or thousands of people are hitting that sales page. What's a percentage of that go on to buy it? So kind of like an industry standard percentage, and this might blow you away, it's about 1 to 2% is, if you're tracking about 2% of people that view your sales page to go buy, that's pretty much industry standard for what you're getting. So if you might think, oh my God, I only sold 2 spots on my course, what a failure I am. But then you look, oh my gosh, only 100 people hit the sales page. It's not a conversion issue, it's a traffic issue. So you need to get more eyes on that sales page. So don't ride your course off too early, but at the same time, just do those maths, put it in perspective, what's my conversion rates? And then once you've got that offer that is converting, then you can invest more in paid traffic and affiliates and everything to grow it and get more people going through that course. I really hope that those tips help.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Laura. We're coming up to 10:45, but if it's okay with everyone, we've decided to just extend this session for an extra 10 minutes because we just received so many great questions today to answer. So if you do need to go, we understand, but if you want to hang around for another 10, 15 minutes with us, that's great. All the episodes will be available up on the YouTube channel in the next couple of weeks. Before we continue, I just want to let you know how to find out a little bit more about Laura. She is one of our exceptional coaches in the X Factor Collective. All of our coaches and consultants and boutique agencies have their own profile page on the X Factor Collective website. You can see there just a screenshot of part of Laura's profile page. You can jump on there and read all about Laura. There's some testimonials there from people that she's worked with as well. Another part of our community is called the Cafe, which is a taster of workshops and coaching packages available from our coaches and consultants. So Laura's got an option there for a half day or a full day coaching package, which might be useful for you at this stage or maybe down the track. Feel free to touch base with us at any stage if you need help getting connected to Laura and getting the support that you need. We also have another part of our community which is called Concierge, and that is basically the central help desk and the hub of the X Factor Collective. We take questions every day from our consultants and coaches, and also from you, the community of change makers who want to be able to, get your questions answered and get support to get on with achieving your social mission. So check us out, have a good look around the X Factor Collective. We are new, we are growing. We're going to have a really exciting community here for you over the next couple of years. So thanks for joining in today. If you do need to go, hopefully we'll see you over the next couple of weeks. But if you want to hang around, Laura, I think we need to jump into a couple more questions. I want to move across to social media, if that's okay, Laura, because I know it's a big one for people. Social media is obviously a really key part of building your profile online, and building a community, as we're talking about here with X Factor. But there's just so many channels now. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got Pinterest, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, the list goes on. Laura, what's your advice on the best social media platforms to build your brand online?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically the best platform for your venture is where your ideal customer hangs out. So, you know, you don't want to be on Snapchat if they're all on Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook or anything like that. So do your research, find out where your ideal customer is hanging out, and then hang out there. So my best tip for you is, rather than to be across I don't know how many social platforms out there now, I don't know, 100, 200, there's like a new one every week. But my advice is to choose one or two of the platforms where your customer are hanging out and do them well. Spreading yourself thin just won't get the impact and just stress and burn you out. But it's supposed to be social media. If you're just doing automatic posts to one of the platforms and you're never actually on there, interacting with people sense that, and it's like, sometimes that can be a detriment to your brand as well. So choose one or two and do them well. For my sustainable living business, my ideal customer is really a mum with 1 to 2 kids, and the mum's age between 35 to 45. That's what all my research, all my surveying of my customers is showing me. And they're predominantly on Facebook. They've got a growing number of venturing out into Instagram now, but predominantly Facebook is where they hang out and share the bulk of the photos of their kids. So that's where I chat with them, and that's where I research them, reach them. So I hang out with them there, and that's where I reach more of them. If you are a products-based business or venture, you really do need to be on Instagram, though. I can't stress that enough, and possibly even Pinterest. So the way that these are very visual platforms, it's very easy to have just like a snap photo of your products and things like that. And also these platforms link directly through to your online store, particularly if you're with Shopify. There's just apps and plugins that just go straight from your Instagram page through to Shopify. So you can pin a photo, of a product or anything, and tag that product directly in your Shopify store. So people are scrolling through Instagram and they're just clicking on that image of yours and going straight to buy. So that's probably only one when I say what platforms you should be using. If you're products based, I really wouldn't be going past.
Great. We're just losing your link there a little bit, Laura, if you can hear me. Good old NBN in Australia at its best. I'm going to keep talking until Laura comes back. Laura, if you can hear me, just give me a little note in your chat box there. This is the first time that we've actually had a complete freeze on Ask X Factor Live. Maybe if anyone wants to just pop in the chat box, can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Maybe if anyone wants to pop in the chat box there, just let me know. Yes, I can still hear you. Thanks, Katrine. Great. Yes, I can hear you, Jenny. Fantastic.
I'm back.
We completely lost you. No, that's okay.
Did you get the rest of the question? Because I was just talking about Instagram linking with Shopify for products-based businesses.
We got up to Shopify. It was beautiful. And then NBN at its best came firing in and showed us. That's why
the absent NBN, because it's not where I live. Like we're still old school in Adelaide. So
yeah. So that's okay. That's the beauty of having our members all over the country and zooming around the country. But what can you do? Down the track, we'll just have to fly you all in. But no, you did say about the links from that into Shopify and how effective that is. And then we lost the last little bit.
All right, I'll just say the last bit. So basically, what I just wanted to stress, I mean, I don't want to tell you like any platforms that you have to use, but if you are a products-based business, you kind of do need to be on Instagram and possibly even Pinterest. Yeah, they link to your Shopify store, but you can have a nice post of a product or you using a product or anything like that, and people can just click on the product and go straight into your online store to purchase. So they're probably the two most important ones there. But otherwise, do your research, hang out where your ideal clients and customers are hanging out, and you can't really go wrong from there.
Great. That's fantastic advice. Excellent. Thank you, Laura. We've got a question that came in this morning from Katrine. I think Katrine's here with us today, and it's about pricing, if we can move across into a pricing question.
Yep.
So Katrine's question is about, I guess, the value that she puts on the pricing when she's just starting out with her new venture. And she's saying that it's hard for her to get clear on who her ideal customer is at this stage, or the exact product that she wants to put out there. She feels that she just needs to get it out there, which we hear this commonly, don't we? And she's come up with a one-on-one workshop offer, which she knows would be a lot of work for her, but it would give her some experience in the space and grow her confidence. She says that she knows the reasoning behind charging more, and she doesn't want to undervalue the worth of her product or her time. But in this initial phase of getting started, maybe half a year, is it okay to have a low price point to enable more people to book? Love your thoughts on that, Laura.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's a pretty big question. There's a lot in that. You asked me, is it okay for you to have a discounted rate for this initial period of 6 months to encourage more people to come through? And most entrepreneurs think that by charging less, you're going to get more people coming through when taking up that. So I just want to stamp that belief right out, because that's simply not true. So we might think that price is the biggest decision that people make when they're buying something, but 9 times out of 10 it's not. People want a result. They want what you're selling, and not so much what you're selling, the result, or what it's going to lead to for them. So what problem are you solving for them? And people will pay for that. You said it was a one-on-one workshop, so that's just you working directly with someone, and you're offering a lower rate for that. And so I wasn't too sure exactly what you're selling, so I'm just going to talk in general senses of that and share a couple of experiences that I've had with pricing too, when I've gone in low, and the impact that that's had on my business too. So one of the ones that, when a lot of people create online courses, they might have like a beta course and give it away to friends and stuff for free in exchange for testimonials and getting runs on the board and see how that's going. And while I never had an official beta test course, I just thought, I'm just going to create it and launch it and just do it not do it on the fly, but do it as I go. And I didn't do a beta course. I did offer it to some friends in exchange for testimonials. Here, have this course for free. Let me know how you go. And can I have a testimonial to use for the next launch? Everyone I offered it to for free who gladly took it, no one completed it. Therefore, no one got the result. And I never got those testimonials. So it was just a dud thing for me to do. And I've got so many friends in the online space that have done that as well. So discounting, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for us. It makes a fact that we're working harder and for the money that's coming in, but it's also doing a disservice in a lot of cases to our clients too, because then they're not valuing the expertise, but they're not valuing enough to do the work and get the results as well. So it's like, it's kind of like a subconscious thing. So if you are, your question was, is it okay to charge less to get it out there? Yes or no for that? It's really up to you. I think you could still put it out there with your price tag on it and own that price and value that price. Just don't think that by putting it cheaper that you're definitely going to get more people through and you're going to get better results, because I can tell you not so much. Another example I want to do is when I thought, I had some lower sales in a launch for one of my courses. And I thought, this is a pricing thing. So the next launch, I knocked $100 off the price, which was 30% off the price. It was a $297 course, and I put it down to $197. I had the exact same number of people buy on that next launch. So it was 50-something people bought the course, but I just killed my revenue and my profits basically by 30%. So it did not impact the amount of people that bought that course at all. It only impacted the bottom line in my business. So I'll just leave those thoughts with you.
That's
and
great.
let you come up with what's the right thing for you.
Thanks, Laura. Thank you for answering that. Katrine, I hope that's been helpful. Katrine says, thanks so much. That's such great advice. You're welcome to Katrine. And let us know, Katrine, send us an email and let us know about your venture and how you get on. And, we'd love to support you in any way that we can to make that happen in the world. two more questions, if we might, Laura. One on building your email list, and then one about podcasting over YouTube. So just looking at emails, another big part of building an online business is your email list. Laura, can you share with us what are some of the best tried and true methods for growing an email list?
Yeah, I've pretty much tried probably every recommended method over the sun. I guess I like variety as well and testing things out. One of the biggest and best things to grow your email list is actually a launch. So launching a product or a service or an e-course, and you know, we often create a free course or parcel of work to put out there that then leads on to the launch to sell something. So that's those big influx times are when I've grown my email list the most. So some of the things that have really worked for me are webinars. They've traditionally been very good for me. Probably not getting as many registrations now as I was like 4 years ago, just because there's so many more people doing webinars these days. But I think the best webinar I had was like over 1,000 people register for one. Facebook Live is also replacing some of these, especially as you can then repurpose a Facebook Live or a video or webinar that you stream to Facebook Live. You can turn it into a video ad and capture the audience who watch it, and then retarget them to the sales page for your product back to them. So some of those retargeting marketing strategies are really effective there. Video training series are always fairly popular. So it's like a little mini e-course that you can take people through. Often, traditionally, there's been like a webinar after the third video where you do the sales pitch. So 3 videos of training and then one. If you don't like videos, you can also do 5-day challenges. I love these. I've got 2 challenges in my business, a green cleaning challenge and a 5-day plastic-free challenge. Typically, I get between 500 and 1,000 people go through them every time I run them live. So that's usually 500 or 1,000 new people to my email list. Cheat sheets and ebooks, so just short PDFs, like you might have just a page to download this PDF, pop your name and email in, get this cheat sheet or PDF and have an ad in Facebook or something running to that. They are still one of the things that convert the best for me. But then I usually have, after they opt into a small thing like that, an invitation to join a 5-day challenge or one of my bigger things, and eventually leading to a webinar where they can buy something. Quizzes are great too. I have a quiz in my business. It's fun. My conversion off the back of the quiz isn't as good as some of the other ones, but they're fun to get people in and on your email list, and you're nurturing them with content over time, and they might buy a course or something down the track. If you're a products-based business, you can still have some information products as well that you can use some of these tactics, or webinars. You're just running training webinars, but they can still lead into products in your online store. But one of the most effective I found in products-based business is simply just basically subscribe and get free shipping. And people hate paying shipping. So 9 times out of 10, they'll enter their email address, join your list just to get the code to use the free shipping down the track. So, but other list building, one that I haven't done that I have seen done very effectively by some people are people who have authored a book. Some people give away hard copies of their book in exchange for their email address, and then they remarket to the people who have purchased their book by email into their online programs and masterminds and live workshops and things like that. So that's another idea as well for list building.
That's great. Thank you. You've just given me a little idea there for a 5-day challenge that maybe we can do in the X Factor Collective for next year. Might need to have a chat with you about doing a 5-day challenge. They sound like a bit of fun.
They are fun. I like them. They're short, sharp. You can get results in 5 days. Just keep the scope of it as low as possible.
Yeah, great.
Small as possible to get those results.
Fantastic. Well, let's jump into the last question here, which is about podcasting, and which talks about content. And that's a whole nother segment. I'm sure we could spend a whole session just talking about content creation and cross-purposing your content. But let's talk about podcasting. You have a really successful eco podcast. For those who are keen to start their own podcast, firstly, what are the advantages of podcasting over, say, a YouTube channel? And then what's involved in running your own regular podcast?
Yep, for sure. So besides not having to do your makeup and being able to record a podcast episode in your pajamas or gym gear, I think they're the 2 biggest advantages of podcast over YouTube. But nah, I'm joking. Really, I find that people listen in to podcasts more when they're on the go. So when they're driving, walking, in the gym, they're cleaning the house, they're commuting. Podcasts are great because they don't have to be glued to a screen. They can still digest content without having to watch a screen. I mean, of course, you can listen to a YouTube thing as well, but I just find podcasts are a lot easier. You don't have to be on YouTube. You can just be on a podcast app into your phone. And I don't want to discount video and YouTube. I think video is still the best way to connect with people, like what we're doing right now. You can see my face, you can see my mannerisms, you can hear my voice. You're getting to know me and look at me and Julia as well. You're getting to know us better than any other way possible. But podcasting, you've still got your voice in someone's ear, and the voice, and people can still connect to your voice, especially if they're auditory learners, in almost as good a way as video. So I still think video is probably got the biggest advantages there, but podcasting has definitely got that. It's just so much more portable, and I love that. The other big advantage of podcasting is that podcasting platforms like iTunes, they're really still largely devoid of algorithms that you need to beat. So in an online business, you're always trying to beat the Google algorithms, the Gmail algorithms to get your emails in the inbox, not the spam box. You want to be beating the Facebook algorithms. You want to be in people's news feed, and that's getting harder and harder all the time. At the moment, it's still a level playing field in iTunes. So when I launched EcoChat in 2015, it went to #1 in its category in iTunes. It was right up alongside some podcasts from really big production houses. This was a podcast I was producing from my lounge room in a town in outback South Australia, like a 3,000 people town, with the next town was like 200 kilometres away. So I was self-produced from my lounge room up in the #1 spot next to shows around the world. And when you're hanging out in the top spots, you're more visible, and other podcast listeners can easily find you as well. So you just don't have those algorithms that you've got to beat. I think that alone, and the portability is a big advantage of podcasting. What's involved, it really is very similar to any other type of producing regular content for your online business. So much like a YouTube channel or a blog, but with podcasting, you're editing audio files, or you can pay someone else to edit them. You're interviewing guests if you want to feature guests on your show. And also you might want to provide a transcription of the episode or the interview, and having a written version of that available on your website for people who like to skim read. Because again, not everyone wants to listen. Some people just want to skim the transcription. That's repurposing your content as well. And the #1 reason I like to do that and provide that on my website is for SEO purposes. By having all those words there and keywords there, that's bringing traffic to my website as well through Google. So I'm getting the traffic from iTunes, but the transcription of it on my website is getting that traffic from Google as well. So that's why I love podcasting. I can do an episode in my messy house, in my pajamas, and no one knows, and people can listen to it on the go. I'm a consumer of podcasts myself more than videos. It's how I learn, and yeah, I just love it. I really do.
Well, Laura, you're just a wealth of knowledge on everything to do with being in the online space, and it's just been so wonderful to have you here today. We are going to start wrapping up now. Thank you so much for preparing and sharing so much of yourself and your experience with us today. We really love having you a part of the X Factor Collective, and I'm sure everyone here has been really appreciative today of what you've been able to share with us. Please drop a note there in the chat box while we're finishing up. How's today been for you? Did you learn something great? Are you excited now to go away and implement something new? What's that going to be? Let us know before you check out there in the chat box. And just to let you know that we are here online every Wednesday morning till Christmas. We will send in the follow-up email a PDF copy of the program. There are 24 of our current foundation members featured over our 18-week pilot. We are looking at this as a pilot, but we are also creating these as little episodes for our new YouTube channel, which launches in 2 weeks. And we hope to expand this as a whole amazing program into next year. So We are sending out a little survey at the moment, just getting your feedback on how we can make this better, some ideas that you might have on what you would like to see content-wise, so we can really tailor this for you into 2019. So that's the show for today. Everyone's saying, thanks so much, Laura. You've provided some great information today. Thanks, Jenny. Emma says, thanks, Laura. Your business success is inspirational. Thanks for hosting too, Julia. Robbie says, really great, learning so much. Thanks, girls. Katrine says, this was a fantastic webinar. Took lots of notes and feel really inspired. Thanks, very valuable, says Catherine. Beautiful, thank you so much. That makes us feel great being here today. We can't see you, but it's just a delight for us to know that you're getting something and taking away today. Good luck with your social mission. Please let us know how you're getting on and let us know if we can help you at any stage here at the X Factor Collective. And that's a very big farewell from me. Bye, Laura.
Bye. Thanks very much for tuning in, guys. It was my absolute pleasure. Trucks and diggers have rocked up outside my window, and I think they're digging up the road.
Yay! Well, that's our cue to leave. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Look forward to seeing you next week. Hope you can swing by then. All the best. Have a beautiful day.
Great. Thanks.